This video is going to take a dive into how to create new topics and look at the different settings that exist within the topics. So just as a refresher, the topics are going to be the individual discussion topic or individual assignments that the kids are going to be doing. So by default, Flipgrid had this one in here for the students, but if I want to make my own, I'm going to go ahead and hit add new topic. And then what it's going to have you do is it's going to have you give it a title. So we're going to just call this the practice one. And then here is where you're going to put your prompt. So I'm just going to say, please respond to a video. And then you're going to have a lot of customization for what this looks like for the students. You can restrict them for how long they are able to record for. So by default, Flipgrid cuts them off at 1 minute and 30 seconds. So you can make it something as short as all right, I only want them to have a really short answer because I just want to go through, be able to listen to these really quickly, or we're just practicing one quick skill. Or depending what they're doing, you could have them record for up to 10 minutes. All right, so it totally is up to you for however you want to do it. So I'm just going to leave it at the default for now. You have the ability to also moderate the videos. All right, so what you'll find by default, this is turned off. If you don't moderate the videos, that means other students are going to be able to see other people's videos even if you didn't watch them yet. So if you feel like you don't necessarily trust what the students are going to post, or it's just the beginning of the year, so you just want them to kind of get a feel that they know that you can control this, you could turn on moderation, and then you would have to approve each individual video before they would be able to see the videos. All right, so I'll leave that turned off. I think for the most part, you don't have to worry about moderation. Essentially, the students have to log in with their email, so anything that gets posted in their in their name, you're going to see their account attached to it. So if you need to remove the video, you can, and if you need any disciplinary action, you'll have that student's name. There's nothing done anonymously. The next thing that you can add, if you want to put some sort of media, if you can picture, let me jump back over to my student view. If you want a piece of media just to make the page look a little bit more interesting, if you had something to throw in there, you could. What I'll just mention, Vimeo is blocked for students, and so is Giphy. So definitely do not include either of those things. But if you had your own picture or your own, if they're responding to a video, you could put that there so the students can see it right away. And some of these other tools are cool tools that you guys already might be using as well, that you could potentially have them have included as well. These are the main settings that Flipgrid offers for you to customize. So if you are okay with what you see here, you could hit create topic. But I also want to mention that even though it's kind of hidden, there's a more options button. So we're going to go through this just because it's the first time you're potentially making your new topic. So the first one that you're going to see is topic tip. So essentially what that is if you want to give them any sort of quick little tip or cue. So you could just, for example, remind them to look at the camera, or just something really basic, or if you're looking for some specific things, tell them to make sure they include these 3 things in their response. You can also add attachments. So in this case, they want you to link to some sort of actual web link. So if you want them to look at a YouTube video, you could put the link to the YouTube video. If you want them to look at something in Schoology, you could put the link that goes directly to what you want them to look at in Schoology before they respond, and then it'll give you a chance to put a title on each thing. So you can add more attachments if you want. You can also choose. Right now, whenever we post something, by default, Flipgrid makes it active. So that means if the kids go on to Flipgrid and go to your class, they'll see it right away. So you could make it active. You could also make it frozen. Frozen essentially means that the students can see it, but they can't respond yet. And then the last option is hidden. If this topic is hidden, that means the students would not even know that it exists. Only you would see it as the teacher. Okay. And then by default, it gives you today, whatever the current day is, and then it'll say this never expires. But you could customize both. You could say, all right, I want it to be active, but I only want it to be active tomorrow. And I only want it to be active for let's just say I just want it active for one day. So I'll say it becomes active on August 4th, and then it won't be active after August 5th. Actually, you know what, I'm going to change it to today's date, just so when we're finished, we can see that it exists right now. All right. Then there's going to be some options for how it allows students to make the videos. So basically it gives you the option, you can have students submit selfies and videos. You can have them just submit the selfie. They can just submit the video if they want. You can have them, you can give them the ability to make a video title. By default, you can see these are all turned on. You can let them see how many views their video got. It could be beneficial for you as a teacher to see if people actually looked at the other people's videos or if they're just pretending that they did. You can look at, you can allow the students, if you want them to do sticky notes. You can allow the students, like if they want to trim part of their video, you can give them the freedom to do that. You can also give them the ability to add links to their own video if you want. And then this one, by default, Flipgrid has likes turned off. If you wanted the kids to be able to see, to like other videos and see how many people like their videos, you could turn that on. And then also, by default, Flipgrid makes it that students can actually reply to each other. So essentially those are the main ones. And then you can also provide feedback within Flipgrid, but my recommendation would be to use Schoology since that's where all of the other feedback is going. So I never play with feedback settings in here. I just leave it with what Flipgrid has set and don't worry about giving custom feedback in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and hit create topic. And then essentially this topic that we have ready, if we want our students to go directly to this topic, we basically treat it the same way that we did when we had the students join our class. So we have to first get them here somehow. So you'll notice that this link looks a little bit different. It just has a random number now because it's just a random topic. So once again, what we could do is if you had like an assignment in Schoology, you could just create the assignment in Schoology and put the link in Schoology, and then the students click on it. It should get them signed in. They might have to click sign in with Microsoft to be able to get to this. And then essentially once they get to Flipgrid, they'll be able to just record their response. Or you could, once again, you could just give the kids this code, have them go to flipgrid.com, enter that code, and it'll take them right to the spot too where they can submit it. One thing I will mention is that one of your options is to embed, and what we learned from playing around with this is that the embed does not work if you're trying to have the students record their responses. So we do not recommend using the embed code for recording. What'll end up happening is the kids will get like an error message that the camera does not work, and essentially the camera does not work because there's something within that embed code that just doesn't want to let their camera on their laptop work. So don't use the embed code to if you want the kids to actually respond to it. You can use the embed code if you just want them to view other people's stuff. All right, so that's just something to be mindful of at the beginning. And once you have this, I'll say all set. And basically what it does is it takes me to my screen. Right now I don't have any responses. I can add a response as the teacher, but pretty much I'm good to go. So right now I'll just go back to the grid. I'll just go back to this like nested view. So I have two topics that are available on here. One says it's scheduled to open, one says it's active. I can completely customize this though. So if I click on that, it just takes me to where I have it's from August 3rd to August 5th. And I could basically do whatever I want with that. If I want to update it, I can, or if I'm okay with what that says, I'll just scroll down and say update. But this essentially walks you through how to set up your first topic.